Welcome to Book Club in the Cloud. Today's episode is about John C. Maxwell's 25 Ways to Win with People. I'm your host, John Ellsworth, and I welcome you to the podcast. It's like reading for your ears. All right, and we're looking at Chapter 12, The 12th Way to Win with People, and John C. Maxwell's 25 Ways to Win with People. Number 12, Mine the Gold of Good Intentions. I've been very excited to read this chapter. I've been looking forward to it because I thought it was going to be an excellent one. I suppose by using the past tense, I may have tipped my hand a little, but it's just one of those things. Once you have lots of high expectations, sometimes that's hard to meet. So, Mine the Gold of Good Intentions. Actually, Maxwell starts out talking about how his mom always judged him by knowing his heart and didn't always and evaluated his behavior in light of knowing his heart. In fact, it reminded me very much. Right now I'm listening to the Hidden Brain podcast, their Mind Reading 2.0 series, and it deals a lot with this too. So it's been an interesting meshing of reading the book and then also hearing some of these similar concepts in Hidden Brain. So, what he says, the benefit of mining the gold of good intentions is that it allowed him to draw closer to his mother. His mother was more approachable, and it brought out the best in him. And that's his contention, that when you mine the gold of good intentions, that's really what you're doing for other people. It's giving people the benefit of the doubt, and that's a choice that we can make, is to give another person a benefit of a doubt. I was glad in the first portion of the chapter, it just seemed to ignore something that just stuck out in my head. And then when we get to the mentoring moment that he does in these, John C. Maxwell points out, and quote, "Let's start by being honest. Not everyone has pure intentions." Thank you. Halfway through the chapter, we at least acknowledge that, and I think that's good. But he does a decent job of explaining, though, even though not everyone may have good, pure intentions, when you're suspicious of somebody else, it colors or causes you to display wrong behaviors toward them. And then you might get into that sort of self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing. So I thought that was interesting and probably a good point, and something to keep in mind is that even though that's true, not everyone has pure intentions. Treating most people that way, probably is more beneficial than not. So he had some specific things to do, or attitudes. I would say that was part of what sort of bummed me out in this, is that I like this idea of mining the gold of good intentions, but I didn't really feel like I got any super good concrete tips to do so. But he says, believe the best about people, see things from their perspective, and here again, this is where it really tied into some of what I'd been listening to in Hidden Brain. It talks about how we often judge ourselves by intentions, what we hoped to do, and we usually judge other people by their actions. And since we don't know their inner thought and their inner dialogue, we basically, and this isn't in the book, it's sort of that crossover from Hidden Brain, we basically fall victim to the fundamental attribution error. We start ascribing things to how people are acting, their intentions, even though we don't really know what their intentions were. All we have is their actions. So, anyway, believe the best about people, see things from their perspective, give people the benefit of the doubt, and remember their good days, not their bad ones. I kind of like that one as well. I surely hope not to be judged by my worst days or bad days. I would much rather be judged by my good days. And I think having that level of empathy is a good thing, and trying to remember to do that for other people would be good. And he mentions, remember, it's with the attitude with which you judge others that you will also be judged. And again, I think that's true for the most part. I do think sometimes, though, you're going to get judged harshly no matter what. Another one that caught my eye is in the wrap-up. He talks about forget about justice. Instead, focus on grace and forgiveness. And I guess through the pandemic, I'm hearing about grace frequently. I think is good. I don't think it's bad, but I struggle, and I think many people that know me would say that I do sometimes struggle with that. The forgetting about justice part probably is hard, but I think again that goes into that judgy piece. And if you're willing to give people the benefit of the doubt, if you're willing to believe in the good intentions of others, then maybe justice isn't necessarily the primary focus or the way to get the best out of people. So it was an interesting one. I guess I was hoping to get more specific strategies or ways to really lock into looking at good intentions. And it was more just these more generalized attitude things. So it wasn't quite as hopeful as or helpful as I'd hoped it would be. I do think it's an important concept. I think it sort of there's some paradoxical commandments of leadership that I think apply here about that it fits, and I think it fits in with this idea of you judge yourself by your intentions, so why not give other people that same benefit of doubt and judge them by their intentions, not just the quote visible action. So it was a good chapter. I think it's a super good tip to mine the gold of good intentions. I think that is a way to win with people. But I was a little light on the practicality of it, but at least it's a good reminder to focus on the positive. This episode's music from Scott Holmes Music. Please feel free to share your thoughts with me, John Ellsworth, by emailing john@glstuff.com, or even just send me a message encouraging me to keep reading. Thanks for listening.